What's up, guys? I see y'all doing videos on 5 things you do and 5 things you don't like about your truck, your OBS, or whatever. So, I agree with some of them and I disagree with others. Obviously, not trying to diss on anybody, but I figured I'd put my 2 cents in. One of the guys he said what number one was wandering. Mine, it doesn't wander at all. But I just got done going through the front end and everything, and I make sure my tire pressure is right up there where it needs to be. They're all very equal. I got a new power steering box and all that. I can actually let go of the steering wheel and just cruise down the road at like 70 miles an hour. It's not a problem. Actually, I normally do about 80, to be honest. The wipers. He was saying that his don't keep up and that they float and whatever. He's got new arms. I honestly don't know why his isn't working correctly. Mine do great. I've never had a problem. I've never even thought about it before, to be honest. The opening up the door and having the bottles fall out. Yeah, that happens all the time. You could put anything on the floor, but the floors are slanted that direction, and they just fall out constantly. It's such a pain in the ass. But one of the things I really hate the most about it. I say hate. I guess I just really don't like it. It's going to be the ride. One of the other guys, OBS something 9 whatever. He was saying that he doesn't like the ride on his. They ride like a tank, and he's absolutely right. I mean, these trucks, they are just rough riding sons of guns. If you're out goofing around or whatever, and you hit a pothole or something, you're not buckled down, it'll knock you through your seat. And if you are buckled down, it'll realign your back. It's just, they're bumpy ass trucks. You go downtown, you see other people driving right next to you, and they hit a little bump next to you and their car doesn't even move. You hit that bump and your whole truck jumps like 3 inches. Like it's bumpy for sure. Let's see. I love this truck. Like there's a lot of things I love it. I love the way they look. I love the reliability of the 7.3 is just ridiculous. It goes and goes and goes and goes and goes like the Energizer Bunny. Mine's got 160, 180,000 miles on it or something like that. We drive it every single day. We live in North Dakota right now, and it gets down to -60, and everybody, they're sitting there, it's 30 degrees, I'm doing a cold start. Well, it's 30 degrees today. I'm not even worried about it starting up. I keep up on my truck pretty darn well. It's the end of winter right now, so everything's kind of lacking because I go do most of my maintenance in the summertime. But, if you keep good glow plugs in your truck, you keep good solenoids in there and good wiring and all that, good grounds, you keep things cleaned up and you maintenance your truck, you actually take care of it and take things apart and clean things on a regular basis, like yearly. If you're into trucks, then this thing will run like a brand new truck forever. He was saying that it's loud driving down the road. Mine was loud too there for a while, but I replaced my door seals and my hinge pins on the doors, and it's quiet in there now. You can sit there and have an actual conversation without losing your voice. But that's just maintenance. It's things that have to be done to any vehicle. Just especially one that's as old as this one is. It's windy. This thing was built in 94 and sold in 95, and it's still on the road today. It still looks good. I get compliments on it quite literally every single day, a couple compliments a day, and I'm constantly getting people that are offering to buy it from me. I've gone through and made some customizations to the truck here and there, nothing real crazy. I've replaced the seats. I put leather seats out of a BMW in it, and this center console I had, so I put that in there. I do have the 6-position chip in it. As you can see, it's right there. Oh, come on, focus, sucker. And then right down there in my cubby, I've got a boost gauge, and I have the scan gauge 2, which, if you're into cars, hopefully you know what that is. That's an awesome gauge for just reading what your sensors are saying and whatnot. But I'm pretty lifted, and there's been a couple times I was backing up and I couldn't see someone behind me. So, I got these little dink mirrors on there. So I got this flip-up stereo, and it's got a backup camera on it. And so you can see things that are behind you. But, I keep the truck reasonably clean. It's a decently nice truck, I think. It'll tow anything. They're not fast, which is something else that I'm and it kind of sucks. You see these guys go by in their new trucks or whatever, and they're pushing 600 and some odd fucking horsepower and 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, and this truck came out stock with 215 horsepower and 300, I'm not sure, foot-pounds of torque, a little over 300, I think. So I've straight piped it. Obviously, that's what a lot of people do. Put a cool air intake on it. Let's see here. Get my. I got an AFE cool air intake. I cleaned this thing out quite a bit. It actually needs to be replaced. It's getting old now. But something else people say is that these things leak a lot. Well, they do and they don't. I don't know. It's an older truck, so I had some leaks when I first got it, but I went through and I fixed them. And something that people say leak a lot, I would imagine you'd fix it and it would keep leaking. Well, that doesn't happen to me. I fixed the leaks, and I haven't had a problem with it since, except for that darn oil cooler. I tore that apart. That was not a big project, but it was a little expensive because you have to replace your antifreeze and your oil and all that, and take it all apart. And it was actually somewhat easy, hard to get in and out, but once got the part out rather, it was easy to tear apart and put back together. But yeah, it's that's leaking again, and the reason for that is there's a rubber seal in there, and when you have cold oil, like negative 40 degree cold oil, and you turn it over, it's like syrup. It doesn't want to move, so it's easier for it to blow that seal out than it is for it to go through the oil cooler, I guess. I do have two block heaters on this. Well, I have a block heater and I have a coolant heater, and we'll keep it plugged in every single night. You can see in the front there I have this going on, which I've been meaning to make something a little prettier than this, but for right now it works. It's functional. It's probably actually going to go down in here, but this is what I use to step on when I'm working on my truck. I got rid of these, and you can put your foot right there, and you can stand on the front of your truck and actually get in there, especially when it's lifted 6 inches off the ground and it's on 37-inch tires. The headlights, I didn't like them, so I changed them. I put these new ones in there. I tried uploading a video and it got erased, but I don't like these headlights. They're kind of shitty, but it's probably because I went with the cheap ones. I like the way they look. They're a cheap product. Anyways, we're getting off base here. The oil cooler, leaks. I've replaced it once, and we had a really cold freeze. Came out, fired it up, and it leaked again. And as you can see on the ground right there, it's leaking still. My landlord's actually like, hey, you clean that crap up. We live in a nice area. So this summer that'll get all cleaned up. And I'll replace that oil cooler. And I'm probably going to figure out some sort of heating situation for that. My tranny lines were leaking, so I replaced them, and they don't leak anymore. I don't know. I can't really say that there's a lot of things I don't like about this truck. I love this truck. It's great. There's something that my father, he has the same truck, and he was asking me the other day because I fixed mine, and a lot of you guys might have the same problem. You see this arm right there? It goes up. I think that's your stabilizer arm or control arm or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what you call it. Apologize. But when you pull in to, your local store and you make that turn and your truck goes pop, and then you straighten out and it goes pop. Okay, it's your bushings right there. That's why it does that. A lot of people say that it's your sway arm. The arm that goes along the axle, and then you got the two arms that go up on both sides. A lot of people say that's it. That's bullshit, because I don't have those on this truck. It's too stiff. I don't need them. And my truck was doing it. So I took it down to Les Schwab when I was in Oregon, because that's where I'm originally from. And guy's like, oh yeah, I can fix this right now. And he put new bushings in there and tightened them up, and done. I mean, it was super easy. He fixed it, and I've never heard it since. So, but yeah, things I do and like about this truck. I love that it's a sexy truck. I love that it's reliable. I love that I've looked at other people's trucks and they've got 5, 8, a million miles on their trucks. The E40D transmission, it's a piece of shit, but I've built mine for like racing spec, and I've put a Banks shift commander on it so that it'll hold a gear better, and I haven't had any problems with it. I love the fact that I can put anything behind it, and it might take me a minute to get there, but I'm definitely going to get there, no problem. It doesn't overheat. It doesn't leave me stranded. It is a rough riding son of a gun, but it's an old ass truck. So anyways, those are my things. Not really 5 do's and don'ts, but just things I do and things I don't. So I'm not trying to diss on anybody else's video, just putting in my 2 cents. Thanks, guys.